I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're uncovering a deeply personal and historical journey of family, migration, and resilience. It's all captured in a wonderful book. It is called Building Memories, the Renteria Gutierrez family. In the book, Salvador Renteria shares a rich memoir that traces his family's roots from Mexico to the United States, highlighting the struggles and triumphs of life on a farm in Texas. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below the interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Salvador, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Tell me why you decided to document your family's history.
Well, life goes on in a person's, in persons, right? And sometimes we forget to memorialize what is important in what is really important. And I started to realize that if I don't prepare a history of my family and where we came from and where we're going, it's going to be a point where all of that will be only in my memory and not shared by any other people. So I decided I'll take this journey, and this journey was a 2-year journey putting the book together. And it was important to me just to make sure that that history was recorded and available for people to see. Well, available for my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids to see. So it was a 2-year journey that oh my word, it was so educational and so heartwarming to me. My parents were very important to me. They were from Delicias, Mexico, and in Chihuahua. That's the most northern state in Mexico. And I remember many things as a very young boy, 5 years old, 6 years old, and little things here and there that make my life or the book priceless. So that's really why I put it together, is to memorialize everything about what happened with my family and how they came to be here in the United States. One thing very important that that I hold deep in my heart. My mother was an American citizen. Somehow she didn't know that she was an American citizen because she lived in Mexico, but she was. My father was not. But when he crossed over as a bracero, he worked and worked and worked, right? But he tried to learn English. I remember him buying a book and trying to learn it, and it just kind of didn't happen.
Mm.
It wasn't until he was 72 years old, that last year of his life, that he went and took the exam to become a U.S. citizen. At 72 years of age, just before a year before his death, he became a U.S. citizen. He needed to have that. And I hold that thought, that memory, oh, so clear in my mind and so dear in my mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story that, that he basically lived a significant portion of his life here, probably more time here in the United States than in Mexico. And then near the end of his life, he finally got that dream. He became a U.S. citizen. Citizenship for Mexicans is still a dream for many, and the stories of migration are still many. So this resonates on many levels, that people can hear the immigration story and what it means to a family to go from poverty in some cases to the opportunity of the United States, right?
Yes, exactly. And all of those accomplishments that I saw my father as the leader of the family. We all do when when we're young, and it's just not me. But that gave me um, a, a a level of I was grounded in solid ground with my father, emulating my father, what he was doing, and so forth. Many things that were very beneficial to my family, and so little by little, I took that cue that my father was that my father was doing this and that and so forth, and I basically in high school was going to finish up high school, but along with the teachers, two high school teachers, um, uh, plus being pushed by my father, I actually began to believe that I could go to college and that I could be something more than just a high school educated person.
Mhm.
Uh, my father had a lot to do with that, and two teachers, especially Mr. Keeples and Mr. Reisinger, and Mr. Kirchner rather, were very instrumental in pushing me. And they'd say, "You are going to high school, or rather, you are going to the college. You
Mhm.
are. Is that right?" As if they were trying to convince me to do it.
Yeah.
Finally, I did it. And thanks to those three people. My mother was there too, and she was supportive of me as well. But my father was the one that was pushing me to do it. And he was a farmhand. He was not an educated person
Mhm.
necessarily, but he saw the need, and gosh, I took the road and succeeded. I'm an engineer now, a
Mhm.
mechanical engineer. Earned my degree from University of Texas at El Paso back in 1974, and have had a wonderful life. I've enjoyed my life. Yes.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And we talked about the American dream, and that's the American dream coming true. Your father working as a farmhand, emigrating from the country of Mexico to
Yeah.
coming to the United States and building a better
Right.
life for his family. Tell us
Yes.
about the Bracero program that your father benefited from and how it impacted your family's life in the United States.
Well, the Bracero program was a way for the United States. The United States, see, in those days, was at war in World War II. And many of those people that went to the service left the United States for a long while. And there was then a void created because there were people that were needed to fill in those places where the soldiers left. And so the only way to fill that void was for the United States government to come up with a program to let people from Mexico, men from Mexico, come in and to do the work, picking cotton, chopping cotton, baling the hay, and so forth. And there was a need because of that vacuum that had been created by the World War II. So the United States put together a Bracero program where they would allow certain people to come in for a year or 2 years to work here, and then they would return. So it was a kind of a win-win situation between Mexico and the United States. The Bracero program, my father took advantage of it. He and my mother lived in Delicias, Mexico, which is just about a 5 hour drive from El Paso south. And so they came under that program, and they he crossed over in 1948. And this is my brother was born in 1948. My older brother, I was born in 1951.
Mhm.
And that Bracero program, um, when his time was up, when my father's time was up, Mr. Jim Ryan, who he was working for, told him, Jesus, go back to Mexico, reapply. I will be waiting for you at the immigration facility, and I will know that you're there. and I will recontract you here or renew the contract here for my farm. He did so, and he came back. Unfortunately, some other farmer recruited him unbeknownst to my father was just clueless. So he ended up going somewhere else and not to the Fabens area. Jim Ryan at that point came over and said to my mother, Maria, I was not able to to I was not there to be able to contract Jesus. But I will call the farmer in Odessa, Texas, and see if we can make a trade. He did. He called the farmer, and somehow he arranged so that my father could come back, and maybe another employee went to Odessa, which is about another 4-hour drive from El Paso, Odessa, Texas. And so, lo and behold, he ended up here. Um, Little miracles like that happen to people sometimes that enhance their lives, and so I'm very thankful to Mr. Jim Ryan, because he's passed. I'm 74 years old, so Mr. Ryan is passed away, and but a beloved memory for me.
Yeah. It's amazing how
Yes.
people touch your lives, impact the trajectory of your life and your
Right.
family. It's wonderful that he came into your life and was able to help you the way he did. The name of the
And
book,
and by
go ahead.
the way, that story, that snippet is in the book.
Yeah.
The step by step as to how things happen, just so that you know.
Wonderful. When you look at the book, there are some standout moments, of course. Your father becoming a citizen, the story you just told with Jim Ryan, yourself getting a college education. What is one of the other standout moments in the book that you think the audience, the readers will benefit from learning about and hearing?
What the reader will learn about, they'll learn about life in the United States as seen through my eyes. They have because I joined a company after graduation from the University of Texas at El Paso. I was fortunate enough to join a local company that built water treatment systems. Little by I took over the company, not the company. I took over the engineering portion of that company, and ultimately, I was there were about 8 engineers reporting to me. So I became the chief engineer for that company that built water treatment systems. Seems simple, water treatment system. But at that time, reverse osmosis technology was kind of in its infancy. It was not fully understood, but yet it was there to be able to be used for purifying water for, oh heck, potable water for drinking purposes, for manufacturing semiconductor components like micro devices, the electrical devices that now all of these computers are made out of microchips and so forth. So our pure water was used to manufacture these devices. As we continue on, I formed my own company. I had a company for about 20 years that did the same thing. So just kind of like little snippets of how things worked out.
Amazing. It's an amazing story. It's a true American story. It's an immigration story. It's a story that all of us, on one level or another, have experienced. There are lots of commonalities in people who come from Ireland or Mexico or wherever it might be. You come here for a better life. You come here with a dream. And this is a land of dreams and opportunities, even yet in the year 2025. The name of the book is Building Memories, the Renteria Gutierrez family. In the book, Salvador Renteria shares a rich memoir that traces his family's roots from Mexico to the United States, highlighting the struggles and the triumphs of life on a farm near Fabens, Texas. It's an amazing book. It's an amazing read. You will just love it. Salvador, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate the opportunity. You have a good day.
I appreciate your time and your insight and wisdom. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.